Hello, friends. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. This week I have three super simple dinners and one side dish that's fantastic, but did take a while to make. It was definitely, however, worth it. Also, a wonderful dessert that we thoroughly enjoyed, so hope you give it a try. These are all new to my channel, so if you try any of them, be sure to let me know. So now you've seen a peek at what we'll be working on today. Let's get cooking. So I'm going to make some chicken gyros, and I decided on a recipe that I have found online. However, Big Daddy was away the night that I was making these, and I thought, I am not doing all this marinating and piling them on skewers, and I could go on about all the different recipes I have found. So I wanted something simple. So I decided just to air fry my chicken with salt, pepper, and my Flavor Gods Ranch seasoning. You can grill yours any way you like, barbecue sauce, whatever your fancy is. Just make sure you've got some cooked and cubed or sliced chicken ready to go. So let's get cooking. I apologize, I said air fry. I used the grill function today. Now I'm just seasoning the other side of the chicken, and then I put them on. It said on my grill 20 minutes, but when I went to turn them halfway, I checked the temperature because they looked done, and they were. So because I cut them in half probably. So I went ahead and got them all cut up. And I had a head of lettuce, so I'm going to go ahead and get this sliced up. I'll leave some out that I'm going to use tonight, and the rest of it I'm going to vacuum seal. I find it lasts a whole lot longer in the refrigerator, almost 2 weeks. But today I forgot to put the paper towel in there, which is what makes it last longer, because the paper towel will absorb the excess moisture. But I'll probably be eating this lettuce this week. I love salads for lunch, so I'm sure it won't last long. Now I'm going to cut up some tomatoes. Red onion is another suggestion. I had an onion, I just didn't use it tonight, but I do have it in my ingredients at the end of this clip. And I'm going to type this out, super simple. I don't have obviously a recipe for this particular way of doing it because it's super simple. So now everything's ready. I'm just going to spread the tzatziki sauce on top of my bread that I did warm in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And then we'll put the chicken on, the lettuce, tomato, and may I say, these were so good. And I love gyros. I used to get them when my kids were little, and then I went a long time without even having one. And then when we were in Ohio, there was a place right by Walmart where I did my pickup that had them. So I started eating them again. I thought, when I saw the recipes, I was like, oh, I so want to make them at home, but it was so complicated. But this is a super simple, easy way of making them. And if you have cooked chicken in your fridge, hey, you got dinner ready. All right, guys, I hope you give it a try. I love French onion anything, so when I saw French onion mac and cheese, I was all about it. It is, however, a labor of love. It is time consuming, and I think it took me about 2.5 hours to make. But was it worth it? Heck yes. And if you like French onion, I hope you give this a try. So the first thing you do is cut up the onions, put them in a pan on medium with 2 tablespoons of butter and some olive oil. And then after, I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes, you turn it on medium low and you let them cook for 40 minutes until they're nice and golden brown and caramelized. At this time, we're going to add, they called for thyme. I don't like thyme, so I use some oregano. And then we're going to also add some sherry. I use red wine vinegar and Worcestershire sauce. And we're going to get that mixed up. All the original ingredients are going to be at the end of this video, and also I'll have a link below to the original recipe where you can find the ingredients there and also the directions. After all the liquid has cooked out, just going to season this with a little salt and pepper. Then we're going to put the onions aside and then get a pot of water boiling for our noodles. While that's coming to a boil, we're going to get some of our prep work done. We're going to take a quarter of this baguette and we're going to slice it into 1/2-inch pieces. And this is to put on the top of the mac and cheese before it goes into the oven. Now the water's boiling, I'm going to go ahead and put in the elbows, and then I'm going to grease the 9x13 pan with the butter. And then after that, while we're waiting on our noodles to boil, I'm going to go ahead and grate the cheeses. And we're going to be using 2 kinds, a sharp white cheddar, or white cheddar, it didn't have to be sharp, and Swiss. And I haven't used this grater in quite some time, and I clearly have forgotten how to secure it to the countertop, so don't mind me fumbling there. I finally get it at the end. Now our noodles are done. We're going to go ahead and get everything put together. We're going to take the rest of the butter. We're going to put in the flour and whisk that. And just stir this often, about 2 minutes. Okay, and the next step is to add in the milk. Now we're going to add in the salt and pepper. I use more pepper than salt. And then we're going to let this cook for 5 minutes. And again, you want to stir it often. After the 5 minutes, we're going to add in the cheeses. It is 1.5 cups of the cheddar and 1 cup of the Swiss. Then we're going to get everything put together. So what I did is poured the sauce into the pasta and then added the onions, mixed everything together, and got it into the casserole dish. And look at that ooey gooey deliciousness. Okay, now we've got it in here. We're going to go ahead and put our bread on top and then the remaining cheese. And this goes into a 375-degree oven for about 25 minutes until the top's kind of golden and bubbly. And here it is. It was absolutely delicious. I hope if you try any of these, you try this one. But like I said, labor of love takes some time. So definitely do it on a day where you have some. Here are the ingredients. Today I'm doing a super easy roasted potatoes and air fryer thighs. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've washed my potatoes and I'm going to go ahead and cut them up into smaller pieces. Now for both of these, I'm using a package of garlic Parmesan seasoning. It's a Walmart brand, great value, and I'm going to put the link in the comment box below. In that box, there are 2 bags of seasoning, so I'm going to use one on the potatoes and one on the chicken thighs. I'm just going to put them in a bag, shake them up with some seasoning mix and some olive oil so it'll stick, and we'll get the potatoes into I'm doing the roasting setting on this Ninja Foodie grill. You could always use the air fryer for it too, if that's what you have. These are going to be on 400. They cooked in about 20 minutes. It doesn't matter what seasoning I use on these potatoes, they always come out fantastic using this method, and I hope you give them a try. I had Abel over here on this night and he loved them, and he doesn't even like potato fries, he likes regular French fries, so I was impressed that he enjoyed those. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in, and for this I'm going to use the air fryer function on the grill, and I did 400, and I think the chicken took about 20-25 minutes. On the back of the package it does give you some directions for cooking them in the oven, so I loosely followed that. His Big Daddy's plate, he had some black-eyed peas, and then this is Abel's plate. Both ate everything, all gone. Really don't have a lot of ingredients for you, but in the comment box before there is a link to the Great Value coating. For the Hawaiian rolls or roast beef sliders, we're going to take the rolls out of the package and then slice them in half to get started. We're going to mix a mayonnaise and some horseradish, and then we'll spread this on the bottom layer of the buns. In addition, we're going to set the oven to 350 degrees and then spray the casserole dish prior to putting the buns in it. We're layering the roast beef, and then we'll put the cheese on top. Now for our topping, we're going to melt the butter with a little brown sugar, and once that's dissolved, we're going to remove it from the heat and we'll whisk in some mustard, onion, which I didn't use the onion in mine, and then Worcestershire sauce and salt. And that's going to go over top of the buns, and then we'll sprinkle them with poppy seeds. Now that's optional if you don't care for those, but I did put those on top. I was having a hard time with my Dijon mustard, so I ended up using yellow mustard. Well, actually probably a little half and half. Just wanted to mention that in case you wondered why I was using it. Once we get all this liquid spread and the poppy seeds on, we're going to cover it with silver foil and bake that in the oven for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, you remove the foil, and then it says to continue to bake until the tops are golden brown, about 8 to 10 minutes. I was watching a show and I could smell them. I knew they were cooked. Ran to the oven. They were a little on the brown side, so I would not go for 8 to 10 minutes in your oven. I probably 5 at the most. Anyway, they weren't burnt, so they were absolutely delicious. This was a wonderful meal, easy. You know, if you don't really want to do much cooking that night, I highly recommend them. Lots and lots of good flavor in these. Today we're making a mandarin orange cake. According to the website, it's got lots of other names. Pig picking cake, pea picking cake. Anyway, whatever you call it, it's delicious. So first of all, I forgot to put the camera on. So in here, we have the eggs. We have the juice from mandarin oranges, eggs, and vanilla extract. And we're going to beat this 3 to 4 minutes on medium high. I apologize, there's also butter in there. After we get that mixed, we're going to fold in some mandarin oranges. We're going to spray our 9x13 pan and then spread the batter in here. We're going to cook this in the oven 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. And after we remove that from the oven, we want to cool that completely. For the topping, we're going to get the juice out of the pineapple, and we're going to mix that with a package of vanilla pudding mix. All these ingredients are going to be at the end of this video, and also down below in the comment box is a link to the original recipe. Now we're adding in powdered sugar. And now we're going to fold in the Cool Whip. It says to use half the tub, but after I put my pineapple in, I felt like it needed more, so I added the whole thing. Just mix it until you get a consistency you're happy with for your topping. Now it does sit in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 hours before slicing it, so it does set up a little, but mine turned out perfectly fine, so I say do what you like. Okay, this has been in the fridge for about 3 hours, so I'm slicing it up. It says to slice it into 12 pieces, but I had the grandchildren here, so I wanted to make mine smaller. And then you put a mandarin orange on top of each slice and serve it up. It was absolutely delicious. We thoroughly enjoyed this. We had a 9x13 pan, so there was plenty leftovers for the next day too. And it was just as good then. I hope you try this one. It was well worth it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's collection of new recipes to my channel. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. And if you made it to the end, be sure to leave a smiley face emoji in the comments below. Wishing everybody a wonderful week. I'll see you next Monday.